Hi, my name is Dave Pinczkoski. I'm out here with the OPST boys and we're fishing the Skagit. Finally getting to see this river and swing some flies on it. I've been tying with craft for a long time now, and I just wanted to do something different, and so I kind of came up with a steelhead shank that I call the carpet spider, and I'm making it kind of sparse. I found that it gets down good and deep, and it has a ton of action, and it's pretty visible. We're using the OPST shank tool today to tie these flies and just to make things a lot easier. Works pretty good. Nicely machined tool. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the carpet spider shank. I'm starting out with a 51 steelhead shank, 51 millimeter. And I'm going to start out the fly with some pretty heavy thread because we're going to be adding a piece of fire line and some glow bug material. So we'll start it off. One thing I like to do is I do like to rough up the shank a little bit, just to get rid of the slipperiness of it. Lay down a little bit of a base thread. I'm going to add a little bit of cement to it just because I don't want anything to slip. We don't fish a lot of shanks back home, but I think I'm going to start doing it more. Now I'm going to add some flat braid. Chartreuse. And now for the kind of the secret of the fly is to add the glow bug yarn. And I learned this from Trevor Kovich last year on his marabou style flies. So it made me think I'd like to try this with craft fur. So you just kind of puff it out a little bit here and I like this egg to be kind of big because I want it to support the craft fur. It's pretty fine, you know, but I want to get it to where got a little bit of a Try to tease that out a little bit. It's funny, I've tied so many glow bugs, but trying to get it to be right on top of the fire line is a little tricky. So what you can do is put a little drop of cement there, a Zap-A-Gap or whatever you got. There we go. Try to get that nice and compact because that's what you're going to be building your wings up against. Okay. Now, one nice trick that you can use for craft fur, especially when in the wintertime when you got the heat on and you get a lot of static cling, is you get yourself some bounce dryer sheets that are unscented. And I actually store my craft fur with this stuff. And I'll actually, when I'm tying flies, I'll put them on my lap and then I'll just sweep it back and forth, and you can see it's like awesome. It's a great trick. I think they make aerosol spray stuff too. Now for the first clump, you kind of want to leave the guard hairs in, like when I tie my Eat a Peach Leech or my Bad Hair Day. And just try to grab it by the tips, but leave a little bit of butt sticking up to actually act as a shoulder again too. It always helps to have a little bit of water. And now I'm actually going to pack it up against that egg. And this is where I'll add my Flashabou or angel hair. I'm doing angel right now. I try to do about 20 or so hairs, but whatever you think is good. And thunking the hook like that distributes the fibers evenly. That's just something that I learned a long time ago with this craft fur, and it works good. So there, we'll probably use a little bit smaller. The next piece, it'll just go smaller as we go on. There's going to be 3 clumps on this. And this is where I'm going to start getting rid of the so-called guard hairs or whatever. And you got to remember, you're not trying to tie these fibers down. You just want to tie in front of it because you don't want to fold these back. You want it to stand up like it would be a marabou plume or whatever. Now we'll do a clump of Cherise. Actually, we need to put some eyes in first. We don't want to curl that hook too much. The eye of the hook. So I'm just going to use some medium. Now when you get to the eyes, what you have to do is tie one clump on the top and one on the bottom, because you don't have the luxury of just tying it in the round now. So you just set them in there like that and just kind of tease them around a little bit. This is where you have to try not to use too many thread wraps, because this is where we're going to put the eyes, or the hackle on next. Let's see here. So we're going to pick out a couple nice OPST hackles here. I'm just going to grab two from, let's see if we can get something on this side. That looks pretty close. So now you just kind of want to try to get these just a tad longer than the wing. Strip them just like you would for the intruder. Go through the eye. Get these to go through at the same time, it makes it easier. And the old Vision ain't what she used to be. Do one at a time. We'll see. I can barely see this. cabin light. Alright, now to find them now. Alright, so I'm going to put a little cleanup with some more Charisse, and then that will probably be it. One good thunk for a good measure. You can see that the combing really is key because I'm digging a lot of trapped fibers out of there. So there it is. A lot of things. Sometimes you can bring it forward like this and the carpet spider. Coming to a river near you. And you always have to remember, you always have to remember to file this down. And the fish is a lot better than the way I used to make them, because I used to make them way too bulky.